Listen up, sports fans. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest new European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the table. Sign up at BetUS.com today to get into the action. BetUS, where the game begins.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is your boy Darion, and we're back with another episode of the Darion Hopkins Show. And I am your host, Darion of the Darion Hopkins Show, and we're back with another live stream here to talk about a lot of news that has broken out in the last couple of hours, in the last couple of minutes. But make sure y'all come on in. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Just give me 1 second. I totally forgot my phone out there. So let me go get that real quick before we get more into the show. Give me 1 second. All right. I apologize for leaving. But we have a lot to cover, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about the breaking news of Michael Jordan selling majority of his estate to the Charlotte Hornets. We're going to be talking about, Mike Dunleavy Jr. being the new GM of the Golden State Warriors, the Ja Morant situation, that he's suspended for 25 games. I'm definitely going to have my reaction to that. I do want to wait on my other co-hosts to come up in here. So I'm waiting for, I don't know where Mac at either for some reason. Mac usually be in here around this time, but I know a lot of y'all have not seen my other co-host as well. He has not been in No Mercy Sports. We're going to talk about it. We going to talk about it. But Boog,
that's good, man.
We finally have Boog in the building, y'all. Y'all must not forget, like, he started out at the beginning of these shows, and he's been away getting his stuff together. But
we back now.
We get Mac in here later on to talk about it. But I want to get strictly straight. Listen, I know we have NFL topics, but the main topic of today is Ja Morant.
Yeah,
he is suspended for 25 games. And more came down with how much he's going to be losing. He'll be losing almost $300,000 per game, and he's losing other stuff as well. As far as not endorsements, he has not lost any endorsements, but he's going to be losing up to $7.6 million this year. So almost $300,000 per game. That's up to $7.6 million. And we all know that the first incident that he was live in Denver on the club, live stream, Instagram, holding a gun in his hand, and then 2 months, then he got suspended for 8 games, which I thought it was a slap on the wrist. And now he's actually did it again 2 months later, being on someone else's live stream, holding guns. So we finally waited until the NBA Finals was over to get a determination of it. But before I make my statement, because a lot of people's not going to like what I'm going to say, they're really not. I want to get your thoughts on it because I'm really about to crack down on the NBA with this one. I really am. Yes.
You don't think that's enough?
I feel like 25 games is not enough. And I'm gonna tell you why, but I want to hear your side of the story.
I mean,
first.
Okay, because like I said, the first situation, everybody makes mistakes. Even though it's a really stupid, and I don't want to cuss, but even though it's a dumb mistake. Okay, you get the first one. The second time, though, it's like at this point, you just want to be, bro. Like you just want to be, and it's like, I that's why I can kind of feel where you're coming from. Like, go ahead and it's like really, give him the spanking. But I think they're still trying to give him that time to learn and elevate. He's still young. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are not what I want to say. They're not involved in Ja's environment. And when I say that, I'm not saying that, because he hangs around these people, he should change his surroundings. He should most definitely change his surroundings. I think Ja was so much of a good kid. It's like now that he got some money, he's like, he wants to be the wannabe. He wants to have a gun. Like, you didn't have a gun your whole time in Spartanburg in college. No time. So why do you decide when you get in the NBA making millions of dollars, now you have to feel the need to have a gun and show it on live at that? Then you had the altercation where he blamed his homeboy, basically. I don't know if you've seen that, but article came out where basically he unfollowed the guy who posted the video as if he was mad at him. Like, I'm making a video. You got the gun at the end of the day. You're in the NBA. I'm not. So I don't know. I don't know. I think 25 games is good enough because I think it's going to be so much backlash. He's going to lose so many deals. Like, I think that's enough. His team is in the West. They're going to be fighting this next year. I think 25 games is good enough, especially with all the money lost. Shoe deal, Nike deal gone.
The Nike deal was still there. The Nike deal he still got the Nike deal. He still have all his endorsements as of right now, but this is why I feel like 25 games was not enough. Number one, you did this in a 2-month span of you doing your first incident. Then you did your second incident where you knew that your first incident was, okay, I got suspended for 8 games. I had this gun in the club, and you, even though you unfollow old boy from the Instagram, you should never told him to go live in the first place. You should have been like, you should have told him to shut it down. Like, bro, what are you doing? I just got out of a situation.
Yeah.
So for him not to be mindful of that because he feel like he's bigger than the NBA because the NBA gave him a platform, I think it was a slap on the wrist for Ja Morant. And I understand that he didn't get any legal action. I understand he didn't get any, time served. And I know you could carry a gun in the city of Memphis, but he wasn't in Memphis the first time. He was in Denver. I don't know what the gun laws are in Denver. Memphis, he might have been in Memphis in the second video. But nobody's going to believe him now because he has to go through mental health protocols. He has to go through all this other stuff to live up to this suspension because according to what I listened to on First Take, I've been watching First Take since the breaking news came out. Adrian Wojnarowski stated that if he doesn't follow and comply by these rules within the inside of the 25 games, it can be added on to more. And I feel like it should have been more. I think, to me, give him 40 games.
Or I say 40 or 50. Okay.
I say at least 40 games. 25 games, that's not even a half a season for real. It's kind of near the end of the first half of the season, but it's not actually near. I think you should have gave him the whole, or probably the first half of the season. But 25 games to me is a second strike. I get it. And I want to pull up his statement, but I'm just not. I could completely disagree with how the commission went about this. I understand you didn't want to take away from the NBA Finals. You did not want to talk about it. But 25 games is still another slap on the wrist to send a message. I understand he's losing $7.6 million. That could be up to $50 million after the 25 games are over. But that ain't shit compared to what Michael Vick had to go through in the NFL. Even though he did federal prison, he lost hundreds of millions of dollars. $50 million is like $6 to them.
But the NFL,
what kind of contract that Ja Morant has.
But the NFL kind of don't play when it come to us, man. You're gonna get smacked in the NFL. The NFL not gonna play with you.
It's just mind-boggling to me because I know he's young. We all make mistakes around his age. I get it. But you're representing a brand.
Yeah.
When you first came into the NBA, you didn't have all this stuff going on. You wasn't doing all this stuff. When you was at Murray State, we didn't see none of this stuff. And you was a top prospect. And you know what top prospects, they get the limelight on them in college basketball. But now you get to the NBA and you think you're bigger than the league. And that's why I feel like the 25-game suspension is the slap on the wrist, because he thinks that he's bigger than the league. And I'm going to just pull up, and another thing too, he lied about not doing it again. That's number one. You went on national television with Jalen Rose in the interview and said that you were sorry for what you did the first time. I'm sorry, but I just can't believe nothing that he said in this statement. And I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up real quick because I do have it here. So this is the statement that he said. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, let me just fix my banner real quick, my layer real quick, and I feel like if we giving too much leeway to these younger cats. We're getting too much leeway to these younger cats. So let me pull it up and read it off to y'all, because if y'all can't see it there, I'm going to read it here. This is the statement from Ja Morant. He said, I have time to reflect and realize how much hurt I've caused. I want to apologize to the NBA and the Memphis Grizzlies, my teammates in the city of Memphis. To Adam Silver, Zach Kleiman, and Robert Pera, who gave me the opportunity to be a professional athlete and have supported me. I'm sorry for the harm that I've done. To the kids who look up to me, I'm sorry for failing you as a role model. I promise I'm going to be better. To all my sponsors, I'm going to be a better representation of our brands. To all my fans, I'm going to make it up to you. I promise. Then he says, I'm spending the offseason and my suspension continuing to work on my own mental health and decision making. I am also going to be training so that I'm ready when I can get back on the court. I know my teammates are going to hold it down, and I am sorry that I won't be there with you in the beginning of the season. I hope you'll give me a chance to prove. He said, I hope you'll give me a chance to prove over the time that I'm a better man. What I've been showing you. That is the quote here from Ja Morant in what has been stated.
I mean, he apologized. What more you want from him?
I can't. I have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to see it to believe it, because you went on national television and told everybody that you was responsible. You made a mistake. You apologized. 2 months later, you do the same shit. Come on, bruh. If you knew from your first time, you knew from your first time that you went and did an exclusive interview with Jalen Rose. You made Jalen Rose look stupid.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not about he never convicted a crime. The fact that you went on national television and told everybody you apologized the first time, and you made Jalen Rose and ESPN look stupid for giving you this interview to give you your side of the story, and you still did the same shit 2 months later.
And I just feel like too, like people are like losing sight, and I hate to make this a black thing at the end of the day, but it's a thing that comes with, and I don't want to say our culture, but certain parts of it, because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of guys in the NBA that have CCWs and that carry their guns legally, or that have firearms on them all the time. They're not on Instagram showing them though. I can see it's a professionalism that comes with being in the NBA, and I just don't think he has picked that up yet, and that's why maybe they're trying to give him that time. Like he hasn't had like a. And I don't know. It's kind of hard to even give him an excuse after the second time. But I get what you're saying. I just feel like he's just the wannabe guy. Like he's not going to get it. I feel like even if they would suspend him 40 games, he's still just not going to get it. He's that dude who never did nothing his whole life, raised in a good neighborhood, all that. And now he got a lot of money and he can act like he can buy guns. He can, you know what I'm saying? He can do that type of stuff now. And it's like, that's what he's choosing to do with his time. And
25 games.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's about the brand image at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and I just felt like I have to see it to believe it, for me to believe that you're going to change. That's just me. That's just me personally, how I feel about the situation. I don't, and I know everybody in here is probably gonna say 25 games is too much. I think it's less. I think it's still a slap on the wrist with the NBA, because if this was the NFL, he probably would miss the whole damn season.
Somebody just
The
hit it on
NFL
top
don't
of the.
play about stuff like that.
Somebody in the comments just hit it on the head. Even besides, that's not even good gun safety. Like he didn't even know how to hold a gun or even like that. Somebody in the comments just hit that on the head. Like he wasn't. This wasn't even good gun safety.
They said nephew is not a good look, but if he gets his shit, imagine what he could do. That's the only thing. It's a big if, because now you have this image of you now being, oh, you the guy on Instagram live on social media holding guns twice.
Yeah,
so that image is still going to stay there regardless.
But see, to a certain extent, and I know it sounds crazy because we're talking about NBA players, but that's why I kind of want to touch on the culture thing. To a certain extent, that's the thing in our culture now. That's the guy. Not saying like that, like of course you have, but that's the guy who got the guns on Instagram, who got the money. That's the guy now. Like, and I guess he's not really caring about the NBA thing, and I'm happy you hit that. That's what he wants to be known for. That's what he wants to be known for. He wants to be that tough guy.
Yeah,
I
I just don't understand, like, your father's with you all the time. Didn't your father tell you about the first incident at first? Understand that we can be hard-headed kids at first, but even though that you had your father in your life, you had your mother in your life, why you want to live a persona that you never lived? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm not understanding about this whole social media stuff. Why are you trying to put on an image that you never lived, but just live the image that you have as John Morant, the franchise basketball player and probably the face of the NBA? But no, you want to follow into a footsteps of a bunch of thugs that live in Memphis or live in Denver and put on this persona and this fake gangster shit. And I'm sorry, I'm going 100% uncensored, uncut. I don't care. At the end of the day, you're a fake thug and you want to be around thugs because you want to feel like you want to fit in instead of being an outsider. That's the problem with John Morant right now.
Yes. Most definitely. You hit that on the head.
And because me and you come from this nature. In our community, we want to get out. We want to get out of situations like we don't want to be put into situations like that. And that's the problem. They carrying guns and being gangster is being cool. That shit ain't cool.
I'm not gonna lie. If I had a John Morant contract, people from my city might not even see me. They probably wouldn't even see me, or let alone it's. I don't know, man. He just I can't even say you took all the words in my mouth. It's just the image, and then of course too. I'm happy you hit on that because, like I said, with our culture, with him staying in Memphis, you got the music that's going on in Memphis right now. You know, like
it's not even just music in Memphis. It's just rap music, period.
Well, yeah, anywhere, but I feel like specifically him being there because people are saying like, oh, he has a gun, he's in Memphis. John Morant not in the hood in Memphis. Like, you get what I'm saying? He's not in South Memphis or nothing like that.
But the fact that he was in Denver in the club with the first gun. He wasn't even in Memphis the first time.
What you need your gun for in the club, bro? Like at the strip club at that. He's at the strip club. Like you, John Morant, you're not just going to any type club. You're not like you probably got security with you. They I don't know, man.
And they said that he needs a role model. His father should be his role model.
That's what I was gonna say though. Like, imagine if he was able to come and a guy like Zach Randolph was involved. You get what I'm saying with the team, and he could be able to talk to him because Zach was like that too. Zach was one of them. He was one of them ones, but he still knew how to carry. Like he knew how to like. You just got to know how to carry it, and I just feel like John just don't have it, and I feel like that's still not him. Like you can look at him and tell like. It's not you, bro.
I see John Morant being the potential of being a role model, but he has to bounce back from this.
Yeah.
He has to bounce back from this. I have to see the improvement. I have to see that he does not do this again for me to believe, because like I said, he went on national television and told the world how he apologized for this first incident. And 2 months later, you go back around and do it again. Nobody's going to believe you. That's why I agree with Stephen A. Smith. Nobody's going to believe you right now. Yeah. They're just not. You're just not. Yeah, you put out a statement, but I feel like I feel like it wasn't genuine enough. I need to actions speak louder than words with me.
Yeah, I mean, he made that bet. He got to lay in it. That's how that go. How that go.
I just feel like the NBA in the 25 games is still a little light for me. It just don't sit right with me from the NBA standpoint, because I feel like a lot of NBA players get away with a lot of shit in this league.
Yeah,
they just do. It's not even outside of this situation. I mean, we could go back even on, God bless his soul, the Kobe Bryant situation. He got off on that. Michael Jordan with the gambling. He got off with that. We have so many issues in the NBA that players get slapped on the wrist and don't really do no real time of suspension. And something has to change. This thing has to change here. And I feel like he did not send a message to the league, because the league feel like they could do these players. They feel like they can do whatever the hell they want, because they're in the NBA and they making millions of dollars. Oh, I'm this person and I could do what I want. And Adam Silver showed that they could do what they want.
And we were touching that because I kind of want to go down a rabbit hole, because it's like I want to think too, like okay, I don't want to compare, but the NFL, what do you think is the difference between the NFL punishments and the NBA punishments, or just the way they handle it? What do you think the difference is?
I think the NFL, the way they handle it is in a way where the NFL is more stern. They're not going to tolerate their brand being tarnished by players doing stuff off the field. When it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to what happened with Michael Vick, and what happened with Ray Rice, they take that shit seriously. And I feel like the NBA doesn't take it seriously enough and be enough stern about it, because the NBA is just as popular as the NFL. But I just feel like players get away with so much stuff in the NBA that if Ja Morant would have did it in the NFL, his career is done.
Oh yeah, it's over.
His career is done. They don't care if you was a first round draft pick. They don't care if you was there for 2 years and you was an NFL league MVP. You made that mistake twice, especially if the NFL is even being lenient of giving you a second chance. You don't get strikes in the NFL. You just don't.
After the first time, the NFL probably wouldn't have went for it. They're like, what? Like, yeah. And even the NFL, I feel like it's so difficult. If that would have happened, he was in the NFL. Even if he would have came back after the first time, he just wouldn't even have been. They wouldn't even allow him to be that same guy. Like, you're not going to come back and just think you're just this all-star. You see how things Vic had to go through when he came back?
Exactly.
Like, you're not just going to come back and just be that guy.
It took him forever to get back in the NFL. He had to appeal it like twice to get back in the NFL. And I understand my uncles in the chat. I get it. He has a chance to get it correct. But what if he doesn't? How many chances are we going to keep giving the guy to keep doing the same thing over and over again? And also,
he has to lead by example, too. Because what about the next young black guy that comes up, and what if they don't give him that chance? What if he like, oh, well, Ja Morant did it. What if they don't give him that same chance? He has to lead by example. And I think that's kind of like why another thing with that really like a chat GPT message to me. But
you said that in the chat, too.
But that's another thing is like, you're really supposed to be a role model. Like, you have kids looking up to you, bro. Like, it's just certain things he has to do better, bro. Because then now you're setting the standard like, oh, well, I can go to the NBA and I can still post guns on Instagram. Like, no, that's not how that works.
Just to throw some things out there, right? I know everybody heard about the Damon Arnett situation. When he went on Instagram and he was flashing guns, you have not seen him in the league since then.
They slammed him.
And you know what? That was his first strike. And the NFL didn't play that. NFL didn't play it. I understand that the difference is that Damon Arnett threatened people on social media, but the fact that he flashed guns, multiple guns, and the NFL said, nope, we're not tolerating that. We're not giving you a second chance. None of that. Then you look at Henry Ruggs situation with the car accident. Even though that he was drunk driving, he killed the lady and a dog. His career is done.
Yeah.
I wonder how the NBA would do if that happened in their league. I wonder how that would happen. How would they sweep this under the rug? How would they sweep Damon Arnett under the rug? Because that's exactly what they're doing with John Morant. They're trying to protect their face of the future face of the NBA when LeBron James leave. That's what they're trying to do. I'm sorry. I just feel like it's two different things, man. It's just two different ways the NFL do theirs and the NBA do theirs.
And I can't lie either. I think also that them handling the Josh situation the way they are and the way they handled Kyrie, and Kyrie never did anything, like, it's just kind of like, what the hell? Like, bro, like, what is really going on? Like,
I was just about to get to that. The thing about Kyrie, I understand that he had his issues ever since the COVID protocols back in Brooklyn. I get that. He did not want to play due to the mandates. That was his choice to do that. But you didn't see, but then he did something with the Jewish people or something of that nature.
yeah.
And the scrutiny that he got for that. He got more criticized than John Morant is getting criticized for flashing guns on Instagram.
I think Kyrie might have made the news, CNN or something, the real news. Like, that was crazy.
But the thing about it is, at least John Morant didn't pull the Gilbert Arenas, but Gilbert Arenas situation was a little bit worse than what John Morant did.
Yeah.
Let's just keep that. Well, I'm not going to bring up that Gilbert Arenas thing. But the NFL would have did something. I think MLB would have cracked. You see what they just did to Trevor Boyer? You see what they just did to him in MLB for those sex allegations? Oh, if you look at MLB,
and you realize
NHL,
you said allegations and how you said allegations.
Yeah, but he was found guilty on those, so those allegations is actually true.
Charges now, charges.
Yeah, they're charges now, yeah. So he don't even have it.
And it's like they're supposed now I can get what you're saying. They're professional athletes at the end of the day. They have to uphold a standard. Professional athletes. They're professional athletes. They have to be professional first before anything else. So it's just certain stuff they just cannot do, just can and shouldn't do. But I feel like Adam Silver, it's almost his time, man. I don't know what's gonna happen, but just in general, that's crazy. I knew he was gonna go super hard on him today, but I just feel like I don't.
Yeah, I'm not going hard on John Morant. I mean, I went hard on John Morant because I said this multiple times, and I just feel like I was expecting more games. I think if you would have gave more games, it would have really gave a message to the league. Like, listen, we're not going to abide by this, and we're not going to support this. But 25 games to me is just not enough. And they say, and Unc is saying, just give him another chance. Listen, two tries with holding guns on social media is enough for me. I have to see the actions. I have to see what you do after these 25 games and see what you do on social media. Now it makes me want to look at your social media to see how if you're going to fuck up again. It makes everybody wants to go back to John Morant's social media to see what he's going to post now. Because I just feel like action speaks louder than words with me. I'm the type of person that you got to show me action that you're going to change. You got to show me that you want to change, because remember, if I'm not mistaken, that we did a segment on this and he went away for about 10 days to try to get his mind right after the first incident. And then after the first incident, he came back and said he got his mind right, did the Jalen Rose interview, and then he did this 2 months later. That's why I said actions speak louder than words. That's why I said they in the comments crazy. I'm loving it.
Yeah, because I seen one comment that I wanted to say something to, because he said he's a kid. And first of all, I think how old is Ja? Ja has to be like 20 something. But
Ja is in his 20s.
If Ja wasn't in the NBA and he had a firearm and he got caught and get arrested, people wouldn't say he's a kid. They would say he's a criminal. He has a firearm.
Exactly. Thank you.
It's no, like that. I don't
understand he didn't commit a crime, but technically he kind of did, because it's the image of the NBA.
Yeah.
It's the image of the NBA. So to me, to say that he understand that he never committed a crime, but if you look at the state of Memphis, or you look at the state of, or the city of Denver, or whatever, in Colorado. I think there are gun laws that you don't actually need licenses to carry.
You don't.
And you don't. But of course he didn't commit a crime, but he committed a crime to the NBA. He sure did.
But now I feel like, why are we skipping just in general? Like we like, I like firearms too. You get what I'm saying? Of course, a lot of people might like firearms, but that's no excuse. He's in the NBA. He can hire security. His homeboys, you know, he can do a lot of other stuff. He has no reason to have a gun. Point blank, period. Don't even matter. And he has
even if you have a gun, don't put the shit on social media.
Even it's like, because you can even tell, like, maybe because I'm a little bit younger, but like the way he like dancing with the young boy and all that, it's like Ja want to be gangster, bro. Like he wants to be gangster, he's not. Like point blank, like everybody trying to act like, no, Ja wants to be gangster, bro. Like that's what it is. He want to be gangster, and the NBA, I guess, is not teaching him, like, you can't be gangster and be in the NBA. It's not how that goes. You can be tough. You know, you got players Draymond Green, Zach Randolph. You can be tough, but you can't be. There's no gangsters in the NBA. It's not how that goes. There's no thugs.
You gotta think about it too. Like even you see the whole persona of Allen Iverson, the way he was dressing back in the day. They thought that he was a gangster, and that really was not that. It wasn't that. He was just being himself. But you never seen Allen Iverson post guns on social media. You never seen that. But you know, he just wanted to wear his do-rags, his baggy jerseys, his
and
jerseys,
when you
his
put it in perspective, but look at all the stuff he went through just for dressing a certain type of way, for dressing for having some braids or some shorts. Like, look at all the stuff Al had to go through. And I feel like Josh, man, maybe that's certain OGs he should talk to, because I feel like guys like that kind of open the doors now for.
I'm sorry, I'm not holding off on judgment. I'm just not. I'm not holding off on judgment, because you did this twice. Now, if there was just a one-time thing and you never did it again, I would have been cool. But you did it in a 2-month span, and you went on national television, and which I watched multiple times. You tried to tell the world that you changed. You try to tell the world that you changed. So me as a fan of Ja Morant, it makes me feel like, bro, like, for real, as a mature fan, not a kid, but as a mature fan, like, bro, for real, you getting paid millions to do stupid. You get paid millions and you still doing stupid stuff.
Whoever not serious, you hit that dead on the head. He said weed is legal, but you don't just see the NBA players on there. Like, they're professionals, bro. They have to be professional. Like, point blank, period, they're professional, bro. Like, it's no excuse, bro. You have to be professional. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, we going with Ja Morant holding guns, and then Zion Williamson getting porn stars pregnant. Like, what the hell is going on with the NBA? Like, what the hell is going on with the NBA, bro?
Man,
like, we wifing porn stars and being fake gangsters.
You gotta think, Zion from. Where is Zion? I don't know. Zion's not from Charleston, but he from somewhere in South Carolina. Man, you gotta think they from South Carolina, man. They ain't never had or seen nothing. Them boys is wilding out. They just, I don't know, man. What do they call them? Well, I don't know if they have like whatever they need.
They both from South Carolina.
Oh yeah, they both from South Carolina.
So listen, whoever, if you're living in South Carolina, just move, just go. If you want to get to the NBA, just leave South Carolina, bro. Just leave South Carolina at this point, because people might say about me judging Ja Morant. I'm sorry, you know, you gotta prove it to me. You gotta prove it to your fans. You gotta prove it to your organization. You gotta prove it to the NBA. And I really hope that his peers in the NBA, like those advocates, like the LeBron James of the world, the Kevin Durant's and stuff like that, that don't get in trouble. In legal situations or doing stuff on social media. I really hope that they put him under his wing. I really hope so. And that's just off the court. Because on the court, of course, they're going to be competing against each other. But I really hope, like, those advocates that don't get into trouble in the NBA and stay out of those type of situations, take him under his wing so he never has to do it again.
Yeah, or even his teammates, because at this point, bro, as your teammate, what the hell are you doing, bro? Because now you keep putting us in a situation to where it's like, bro, if you're going to be on this team or you're not. Like, if you're going to make the sacrifices, because everybody else has to make the same sacrifices to be on that team. So it's like, bro, you can't keep even doing your team like that. So now what, Desmond Bain got to run point guard for another 25 games? Like, come, you got to get it together, bro. He got to, as a teammate. I'm pretty sure his teammates are pissed off. Like, are pissed.
Agreed.
Yeah, they are
Yeah,
pissed.
I think his teammates is pissed as well. I just think so. But at the same time, I just really hope that Dylan Brooks was not a reasoning of him doing this, and you know, I don't know. I just feel like for me that it's just time for him to man up. You learn from this, and you have to show the world, not just the United States, show the world that you are a changed man. And you see how, and only reason why I say that because I said the same thing about Mike Vick. Is Mike Vick going to come out of jail, or is he going to change? Because even though you could get out of jail and do whatever do whatever you want when you get out of jail. You're a free man. But are you going to change? Are you going to go back to your same shit? Are you going to go back to those same people? And that's why Mike Vick's life changed, because he stopped hanging around those people. He got away from that crowd. He got away from that environment. Can John Morant do that? And I really hope that Michael Vick gives him a call.
Yeah.
Because that'll be another reason of, even though they come from two different sports, but Mike Vick's been there.
Yeah, he understands. Yeah.
He understands. So before John loses everything, Mike Vick, I really hope you give him a call. At least get him in your program, because you know Mike Vick has programs of younger guys trying to change their life. And I understand that John Morant, you're young, you're making a lot of money, and you feel like you that dude. But now it's time to humble yourself. It's time for some humbling. It's time for some humbling. If he does change, I'm going to come on here and lie and say that, listen, I appreciate that he made the change. I will come on here and be like, I was wrong. But until then, I'll stick by what I said.
Just watch, keep that energy when he comes correct. Michael, I'm not, listen, first of all, he's a young black man. I want him to win every way possible. Right. But just me being 26, I just feel like, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, it's so many people right now that would give they literally right leg to be in your situation. Like, you are tripping, bro. You gotta I just feel like you just gotta know how to handle situations. Like, and then that's another thing too. Like, we can't keep getting into these positions and blowing the bag and then complaining. Like, that's not how that works, man. It's not how that works, bro.
Because there's a lot of people that's in professional sports that lost the bag, and they never had really got that second chance.
Yeah.
You know, so it comes with a situation where, like, you're getting a second chance, Ja. And a lot of players that's formerly in the league or trying to get back into the league can't get back into the league because of the mistakes they had. So you gotta take this second chance, run with it, and improve yourself.
Yeah, that's all.
But the NBA, you gotta be a little bit more stern.
Yeah.
Because I think if it was Howard Stern or whatever the guy named Mark Stern, whatever his name was, that was the former commissioner,
it would have been a problem.
I don't think he would have gave that John Morant 25 games. He would have gave him more.
Yeah, I think he would have gave him more than 40, maybe. Or I'm not gonna.
I think he would have gave him 40.
Because somebody said a 42 piece in the comments earlier.
Right, because these players have to realize, especially these young players, especially coming into the NBA draft, it's not guaranteed you make it to the NBA. It's a privilege to be here. So it's always this saying that your parents always said to us, I brought you in this world and I could take you out. So for the NBA, you have a privilege, you privileged to be here, but you're not guaranteed to stay here. You're not guaranteed to stay here. So yeah, the old NBA would have been done.
Yeah, he would have
been done with the old NBA. Agreed. But we get a little bit too soft. We get a little bit too soft, a little bit too sensitive these days. Everything gotta be, we gotta cancel him. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. No, absolutely. But we took almost a whole hour talking about John Morant.
We needed to get that off, man.
But first, say same shit because they had mad topics in the first hour. And then the second hour, the whole hour was about John Morant, man. Like it's because it's brand new. It's brand new news. You know what I'm saying? It's brand new. It just came out, and I am gonna throw my own personal video up there on the channel as well. Because if I do, I might have to do a whole damn premiere and make it look like a live shit. Like I might have to edit some things out. But when you have seen what we've been through, death and suicides, I'm that guy. Watch him, please, nephew. Listen, I gotta see it to believe it. That's it. I gotta see it to believe it. I gotta see it to believe it. But we're going to get into some other things here as far as this whole thing of we're gonna get some more information about John Morant, which we'll get the more information about it. Whatever more intensive things come out, just know that he'll be losing $300,000 per game, so that's up to $7.6 million outside of it. And if he doesn't abide by the rules that was given, which we don't know all the full details of the rules, if he doesn't abide by the rules or get his mental health checked, more games can be added on. So 25 games is as what it is right now, but it's not guaranteed that it's not. It's guaranteed. It's possibility that it could be more games if he don't abide by the rules that was given to him. So why even have the rules if they ain't going to enforce it? I mean, they are actually going to enforce it, Raider Twan. But my thing is this. I just hate that the fact that you gave him 25 games first. You should have gave him more. If he doesn't abide by the rules, you suspend him for the whole damn year. That's just me. If I was the commissioner of the NBA, he would have had 40 to 41 games. And if he doesn't abide by the rules, but you don't know all the rules that
I say maybe they might be really strict. Maybe they might be really strict.
So
maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes down to it, I would have given him 40 games, and if he doesn't abide by whatever the rules that the NBA is giving him, I would have suspended him if he didn't abide by them. Suspended him indefinitely for the rest of the year. But that's just me, in my opinion. I think that you got to be in our community, in the Black community, you got to be hard on these kids.
Yeah,
you can't be soft on them, and I feel like. In this moment, I feel like you're still being soft on John Morant. You're not really giving him a harsh reality of shit. Because if this was a nobody, they would have been out the league.
Yeah, it'd been done.
But I want to get into some other topics because we talked almost a whole hour of this topic of John Morant. But who has a better chance of repeating this year? And I was waiting for Mac to come on here because I wouldn't have had this conversation.
Yeah, we need Mac. We need Mac in here, man. I said neither. Just to put that, I said neither.
And shout out to Raider Twan. He said 25 games is like missing preseason. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And RC says, in the real world, you'll lose your job. I think John Morant needs a heavy suspension since most of these athletes don't get punished like regular civilians. The NFL does, but not the NBA. That's the difference. But just to let y'all know, make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are watching on YouTube. Make sure you share it out if you are watching on Facebook. Make sure you retweet it if you're watching on Twitter as well. We are going to have this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. So make sure y'all go follow us there, and make sure y'all go check out SeatGeek.com for all your live sporting events and concerts of that nature, and get $20 off your first purchase using the promo code DHopkins. So, and just let you know that D-Hop Nation t-shirts are available, so make sure y'all go check those out. The link is in the comments here on Stream Elements. Make sure y'all check out the D-Hop Nation t-shirts. They are now available. But who will have a better chance of repeating this year? The Kansas City Chiefs or the Denver Nuggets? And I would love to hear what. And I want Bud to come back on camera for this one. I want him to come back on camera for this one because, I mean, y'all see his profile that he's a Dolphins fan. Y'all see that. So, who has a better chance of repeating this year, the Denver Nuggets or the Kansas City Chiefs? Who has a better chance?
I want to say neither, but if I had to pick one, I would go the Nuggets before the Chiefs. Only because once again I see the West being wide open. Like unless KD and Book come with something, but I don't really with Chris Paul going. I think they still gonna have some. I mean, then who else on the West might pull something together? The Kings, maybe.
I mean, you still got the Kings that's up and coming with
But I feel
those
like
youngins.
Sabonis played so bad when it was time for him to show up in the playoffs. I feel like kind of. I can see the Nuggets repeating again before the Chiefs, most definitely. The Chiefs have the roster. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like this year of football may be one of the most balanced years we've seen across teams. There's not really one team you could say like they're sorry. Not to me, I don't think. Maybe the Texans, of course. You can always say the Texans sorry, but like besides that, I don't really see a team you can say like they are sorry, or even maybe the Patriots, unless they get DeAndre Hopkins. But it's not a lot of teams that are bad. So I go with the Nuggets again. Jokic playing good. Bruce Brown. Let's have that guy. I couldn't wait to get on here and talk to you about Bruce Brown.
I don't know. It's just something about his demeanor that I just don't like about him. It's just something of his demeanor that I don't like about Bruce Brown. But I
they have
mean,
a complete team, man. Like
they do. But Bruce Brown is a free agent this year, so anywhere he goes else, he's going to get the
But
bag.
you see what Malone said at the parade. He said Brucey B's not going nowhere.
I mean, that's up to the organization to deal with that. I mean, even Malone can say that because he's the coach, but the organization guy, he got to see what he wants. But I'm gonna say this is tough for me, and I feel like it's really hard to repeat in both leagues. Number one,
Okay.
we all know that the Chiefs could have had more than just 2 championships at this point, but they've been to the playoffs ever since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback. You know, Denver reminds me of their Milwaukee Bucks championship. And I'm gonna be completely honest. They was young. Giannis was at his best. He won MVP that year. He won finals. And it just gave me the same run that Milwaukee had. And it's really tough in the NBA to repeat than it is in the NFL. Because I'm gonna tell you why. It's one and done in the playoffs for the NFL. It's one and done. You got 7 games to advance to a next round. So for me, I'm going to say it's easier for the Chiefs to repeat, and it's going to be harder for the Nuggets to repeat.
Hey, I see we got a lot of Bruce Brown fans in the crowd, man. I'll try to tell D-Hop, man. Bruce, he don't like Bruce Brown, man.
I don't know. It's just something. He just gives me. I don't know. It's just something about him that just throws me off. He just throws me off, and people fail to realize that. Even though I am a Raiders fan, and a lot of people say that, but on this show, I am a football fan, and so I have to take my fandom out of it. You know what I'm saying? I have to be realistic. And I don't like the Kansas City Queens. That's what the Raiders fans call it. We don't like the Queens. That's our division. But we can't just take away the greatness of what the Kansas City Chiefs do and how they win football games and how they reload, how they won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. And as a Raiders fan, I thought the Kansas City Chiefs was not going to do shit once they traded Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. I really thought that it was going to be a bad year for the Kansas City Chiefs. And look what they do. They win the Super Bowl because you know why? They have a coaching staff, just like with the Nuggets, well, they have a coaching staff that's just as good to keep them consistent. But it's been, if you look at the NBA, it has not really been consistency of back-to-back champions since the Golden State Warriors. And you have not seen really back-to-back since the Kansas City Chiefs. You really haven't seen back-to-backs in the NFL. The Rams in between there won it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going. This is tough,
Chiefs,
but I'm gonna go with my answer that I did last time.
Chiefs.
It's easier for the Chiefs to get back to the AFC Championship. It's gonna be harder for the Nuggets to get back to the NBA Finals.
I just feel like the Chiefs defense, man, is like, don't get me wrong, they played great in the bowl as great as they could, but I just feel like their defense is just it's not consistent enough. I know they picked up, I think they did some draft. I gotta look at my notes for their offseason moves, but I know they did make some moves in the offseason, but I just feel like that receiving core is just still not that again. And they defense. They just got a lot, especially the corners and DB wise. Like who they have? They lost Thornhill. What's the rookie guy name? I forgot. Well, he's not a rookie anymore. But they got a couple guys, but they literally got maybe 2 names, and the rest of the guys just like, you know.
But my question.
Oh, McDuffie. They have McDuffie. That's his name, Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, but my question is, do you really? But the thing about this, one thing about the Chiefs' defense, they wasn't like at the bottom of the barrel when it came to rankings for their defense. They was in the middle of the pack, and sometimes you don't need a top 5 defense to win Super Bowls anymore. You just don't need it because offenses are so prolific now.
Especially when you got the best quarterback in the league.
Damn sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, for Denver, I just feel like can they keep this core? You know, will Jeff Green come back after he got his championship? Will DeAndre Jordan come back when he have his championship? And I'm not really worried about the starting 5 for Denver. I'm really worried about their outside of Christian Brown, because I don't know why he pronounces Brown when it's really Braun.
Oh, that's who that guy was. I was like, who is this guy that scored 15 points? Random.
Yeah, Christian. His name is Christian. They call him Christian Brown. He says his last name is pronounced as Brown, but it's Christian Braun to me. But he's going to be around because he was a rookie. He went from winning the national championship in Kansas and now he's an NBA champion after being drafted. So he's going to stay.
Yeah.
It's just really the Bruce Brown. Can the Nuggets re-sign him to a contract that's not going to break the bank? Because now free agency is going to come around and the bat's going to be thrown at him just the way how he was successful.
And I think that's a lot of things people are sleeping on too. We probably get on that tomorrow. Is this NBA free agency coming up? It's crazy. Like,
right.
And it's not crazy. It's to the point where it's a lot of big names, but the players that are out there, if they are to go to some teams and play their role, they could make those teams championship teams. I feel like somebody like a Middleton, if he's healthy, or Zach LaVine. It's a couple players, that might be out there. Depending on what Draymond does, depending on what they do with Clay, we'll get into that. But it's a lot of ifs, ands, and I just feel like this free agency is gonna be big. But I feel like Bruce is like, he's that energy guy for that team. Like him and even though Gordon is playing low, I feel like him and Gordon are like those dirty work players for that team, like those grimy players they need on that team. That's why I feel like they're gonna keep Bruce though.
Yeah, we just have to see because they love to throw the bag at people. They love to throw the bag. So I just want to see what they do with their bench and see how that works. Cause I know Gordon's going to stay.
Yeah,
we know Jamal Murray is going to be there they're going to finish their career. They probably finish their careers in Denver. Michael Porter Jr. is still young.
Yeah,
And Denver is small target, is a small market, but no NBA teams can afford 3 max players. I don't think Denver need 3 max players, but I don't think Bruce Brown should get the max. Absolutely not.
No. He's definitely a max player.
But like I said, the NBA is what the NBA is. It'll be a team out there that would throw him the max. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna tell you why though. Look what the Sixers gave PJ Tucker. I mean, I'm just saying. They gave that man 30 mil. I mean, listen.
And he shot 1 shot a game.
I mean, I'm just saying the NBA like to throw bags at certain people. I mean, PJ Tucker went to different teams and got the bag. And if y'all think that Bruce Brown is not going to get thrown the bag at another team, I don't know what y'all talking about.
How many years does Aaron have? What kind of contract what kind of structure does Gordon have?
I do not know, but I don't know, but I know he's staying there. I think he's still under contract for a couple more years. But we have Mac here, man. What's up,
It's
guys?
good,
bro.
So just give me your quick take, real quick, because we got our quick take. We did a whole damn hour, almost a whole damn hour about John Morant. Like I said, I didn't agree with the 25 game. I think it could have been more. I feel like it's still a slap on the wrist, but I made my explanation for it, so I'm not going to go into it again. Because Book says, I saw, I went on a rant. I went on a rant, man. So hey,
look, man, I put it the same way. I've said it before, and I've told similar thing. It's just, look, dude, this is it. This is your last chance. This is your last motherfucking chance. There's no more chances after this. You are not a child. You are not a kid. You are a young man. Emphasis on the man. Okay, let's be honest here. If you weren't in the predicament you were in, you wouldn't have these chances.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So on top of that, like, okay, as long as we know if any more shit happens, we talking about a year suspension. We talking about indefinitely until, you know what I mean? Like, no more. This is it. It's done. It's over with. John Morant better be the most motherfucking charismatic, loving motherfucker in the NBA from here on out.
All right, so you got your point across there real quick. So next topic that we were just talking about, who has a better chance of repeating this season, the Kansas City Chiefs or the Denver Nuggets?
Chiefs.
Even though you're a Baltimore Ravens fan?
The Chiefs.
But
Listen
give me that explanation though, because I said this. I said it's easier
to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 to 8 years is going through Kansas City, because Mahomes is in Kansas City. I don't, like, other than Tom Brady, okay, and I'm talking about prime time Brady, like Peyton Manning. Nah, to me, I'm concerned that Patrick Mahomes is already better than Peyton Manning was. You know what I mean? Tom Brady, and the only reason Tom Brady even has anything on him is because all the damn rings.
I mean, Tom Brady did beat Patrick Mahomes a couple of times to get back to that Super Bowl. I just want to throw that out there. But
no, but that's what I'm saying. Other than Tom Brady, dude, I'm sorry, dude, you're not going to convince me that another quarterback is better than Patrick Mahomes
of all time.
Not, I mean, if we're talking about in line where his career is right now compared to where they were in their career, yeah.
I don't know.
Who? Name a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think he's up there with Montana yet.
Oh,
I'm just being completely. I don't think he's up there with Montana yet. Not yet. Not the 49er Montana.
He's right there next to him. Like, you're not going to tell me that the 49er Joe Montana was better, like hands down better than Patrick Mahomes is today. The way the game is played
now, you could say that about Patrick. The way the game is played now, but if you look at how it was tougher for Joe Montana to win 5 Super Bowls, 4 or 5 Super Bowls. I mean, it was tougher back then. It's easier for Patrick Mahomes to win Super Bowls now. It's easier for anybody in the NFL to win Super Bowls right now. It's easy because the refs make it easy. It's an offensive league. You can't play defense in this league no more. You can't.
Yeah, no, and Steve, and from that standpoint, I absolutely, I understand that. But you realize, just as much as the defense would get away with back then, the offensive wide receivers and tight ends used to plaster middle linebackers when they weren't looking and get open. So, I mean, it went both ways back in the day. So, yes, I get what you're saying. Defenses could really put hands on people. But, again, it went kind of both ways a lot of times. And from that standpoint, like, no, it's not fair. But I'm saying from the accolades, the way their career is building, Patrick Mahomes is going to get at least 2 to 3 more fucking Super Bowls. Let's be honest. If he doesn't,
it really depends on how long Andy Reid stays the coach, too.
I mean, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, I mean, you'd have to be the shittiest coach in the NFL to have Patrick Mahomes and not be able to get to the playoffs and not even at least be on the cusp of being in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is a generational quarterback that we've never seen play like. There's nobody that's done exactly what he's done. There's people that have done similar things before, but altogether, nah. And I'm a Ravens fan. You know what I mean? But I'm going to give Patrick Mahomes the respect he's due. That is a bad man.
I said that, but this is my take on it, on the question. I said it's easier for the Kansas City Chiefs to win a Super Bowl than it's going to be harder for the Denver Nuggets to repeat in the NBA. It's going to be an easier route because if you look at how I learned something from the NFL. They give some of the shittiest teams the hardest schedules. And they give some of the best teams the easier schedules. That's what I've been learning the last couple of years with the NFL. Because if you look at the last 4 years of the NFL, if you look at the top 5 teams, they was in the bottom half of as far as they was in the bottom half when it came to weak schedules.
I just wanted to come in and say I don't know because one of the best teams in the league, the Dolphins, got a tough schedule this year. So
Oh my God,
I just
y'all!
want to add that in there
We're
real
not
quick.
listen. Come
I
on,
just want to add that in
we're not
there.
going to do that.
I just want
There's
to
a
add
lot of
that in there.
uncertainty with Miami at this point.
I mean, when you look at it though, it goes off of seeding.
Yeah.
The worst teams in the league, you're going to have to play the worst teams, and you're going to have to play the best teams.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for the best teams in the league.
Can you tell me
They're
a
gonna, half
year
of them are
that?
going to be.
But can you tell me a year the Kansas City Chiefs didn't have a tough schedule? The years they won Super Bowl. Can you tell me? At least 7 teams on their roster, or 7 to 10 teams on their roster that had winning records and has been in the playoffs? You can't really name 10. You can't.
10 who?
10 teams that Kansas City Chiefs played on their schedule in the regular season. And I'm only reason why I say that because if you look at the prime time games, and I'm not gonna put my Raiders up there because my Raiders stink. Sorry to say it, they stink. They stink. Sorry, we have not beaten the Chiefs in who knows when, but since the John Gruden era, that's 1 year. But for me, I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs schedule is so easy. That's why they get the wins that they have. And you see, they struggle against the good teams, like a Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. They struggle against good teams, and you see that.
Yeah,
but they dominate the easier teams. But that's why they give them an easier schedule so they could get all those wins so they could get back to the playoffs. And then when they go to the playoffs, they struggle in the playoffs. Yes, they won the Super Bowl, but you see how they had to earn it. They didn't win by a landslide. They earned that Super Bowl all the way through the divisional, through the conference, and the Super Bowl. Because the Eagles had many chances to beat the Kansas City Chiefs if certain plays didn't go the way they went because of the refs. Another story, another time. Just saying. Eagles would have been the champs this year. I'm just saying.
Tua's a little juiced up this year, Nasir. We're gonna do better. He's getting a little juiced up. You know, he been in the gym, getting. You know, he gonna be a little bit more ready this year, I think.
Tell Tua the last few. Listen, speaking of football, the New England Patriots, and Mac had a whole paragraph in the group chat about.
I don't get him to say, man.
I'm talking about Belichick as a coach, but go ahead. Run the topic.
So the question is, what if the Patriots and Belichick and the Patriots get in last place of this division? Is this hurts Bill Belichick's legacy? And I'm gonna ask why. Because he's 34-36 since Tom Brady's left. He has not won the division since Tom Brady's left. He has not even been competitive since Tom Brady's left. But we talked about this too, Mac, when you're trying to put a special team and a defensive coordinator as your offensive coordinator, that gives me a red flag. But do I think this would tarnish his legacy if they come in last place in the AFC East? I say no. But do I feel like Bill Belichick needed Tom Brady and Tom Brady didn't need Bill Belichick? Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like if Tom Brady was not there, do we see 6 Super Bowls out of the New England Patriots if Tom Brady was there? No. Even with Bill Belichick being the head coach, I don't think we will see 6 championships out of the New England Patriots if Tom Brady is not there. That's just me. And it shows because people think that Tom Brady needed Bill Belichick when it was vice versa. Because he went somewhere else with a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that wasn't even a playoff team for the last 5 years. And in the first year, they went to the Super Bowl.
No.
I mean, he came into a good team.
They loaded that roster for Tom
they were
Brady.
loaded.
Come on, bro. Especially that defense.
Hold on.
Defense they built for Tom Brady.
Hear me out. Well, hear me out. A lot of the players on that defense didn't come from free agency. A lot of those players came through the draft. Devin White was a draft pick. It was not he came from somewhere else. A lot of those, Mike Evans was already there. Cameron Brate was already there. OJ Howard was already there. The running backs was already there. Only thing they did was they beefed up the offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's keep it real because that's the same team that Jameis Winston had and he threw 30 interceptions.
I mean, it's Jameis though.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you. It's the same team, different quarterback. Tom Brady just came and just elevated everybody to make it look like they had to go out and get a boatload of players. They didn't really have to go get much. Because if you look at the championships that Tom Brady won, half of those receivers is not even, they're not even number one receivers in the league, like a Deion Branch. Who knew the hell about Deion Branch until Tom Brady threw to him? Let's be real. David Givens. Come on. That's the Gronk was the probably unpopular tight end that he had outside of the Hernandez boys. So for me, for Belichick, he needs to win this year. But do I feel like it tarnishes his legacy? No.
So I'm just saying. What happened the first few years in New England, right? I'm saying with Belichick in New England. Let's take it back even further. Let's go back to the Giants. Let's go back to when he won the first Super Bowl. His first Super Bowl with the Giants.
Was he a head coach?
No, he's defensive coordinator. But I'm saying all this goes in his legacy. All his legacy is everything he's done. That's led him to be a head coach. That's led him to be coordinators and to the whole legacy part. That's why I'm saying as much as everybody like yourself, like you just said, like Belichick needed Brady, but Belichick didn't necessarily need Brady. He didn't. They needed each other. They did. They needed each other because if it wasn't for Bill Belichick building that defense. Okay, I don't care if Tom Brady did put up 30-some points a damn game. If you don't have a defense that can stop people from putting up points, and remember those defenses from the early and mid 2000s. Okay, you had studs throughout that defense.
But he built the draft. That's what he did. He was a great. He did good during the draft.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay, when you have a guy that has sit here and he built the teams. They don't go out and splash and spend big money in free agency. So it's like they needed each other. Brady needed his prowess and his the way he ran a team because he runs it like a damn corporation. It's not ran like a family business. We're not here to have fun. We're here to win. And that's what Belichick is. Now, the problem is Belichick doesn't have an elite quarterback. So now you're starting to see little things crumble around. Yes, he made a bad decision to get Matt Patricia in there. That's one of his guys. That's one of his homegrown guys. He needed a paycheck. So what did he do? He said, "You know what? I'm gonna let you be the offensive coordinator. I know you've never done it, but it give you an experience you ain't never had." And now did he fuck up? Is that now? Can we look back and say it was a fuck up? Absolutely. But again, like
I just think when it comes to that part of the Matt Patricia thing, I think if you're going to draft a quarterback as high as Mac Jones that you're drafting him, why would you put him in that position if you this legendary coach? Why would you put him in that position to go get a defensive coordinator that was / special team coach to call plays for a quarterback that's still learning?
Yeah, no. Again, like I said, Patricia is one of his guys, and when you have confidence in one of your buddies, and you're like, man, he's a great defensive coordinator. He comes up with all different kinds of disguise coverages. He's got an imagination. He knows how to use it. Let's see what he can do on offense. Because that's my buddy. I'm telling you, that's exactly why he got that job. Is he the offensive coordinator for this year? No. He's not going to be the offensive coordinator for this year. So there you go.
He's actually Matt Patricia's not even on the staff anymore. He's in Philadelphia.
But that's what I'm saying. Like okay, he's not going to make that same mistake again. I promise you, he's not going to make that same mistake. But to sit here and act like Mac Jones is even the second, best quarterback in that division. No, he's the worst quarterback in that damn division. He for him to exceed expectations, I'm feeling like, yeah, probably not. He's probably going to do the same thing he's done the last few years. And again, I'm just saying, like, bro, imagine having and I'm just going to pull this right out there. Imagine if like Andrew Luck was in New England. He came out of retirement, went to New England. Do you think that Belichick would have a problem getting to the playoffs with that, with you know what I mean, a guy like Andrew Luck?
Well, if Matt Patricia's your offensive coordinator, absolutely.
Well, he's not.
Absolutely.
He's not. He's not.
But now you have a Bill O'Brien that's coming in that knows Mac Jones and coach Mac Jones at Alabama. We just got to see what it's going to look like now. Do you have an actual offensive play caller calling, for him? Because if you look at Mac Jones,
so
the year before Matt Patricia came there, Josh McDaniels took them to the playoffs offensively as a coordinator.
Okay,
let's keep it real.
So this is what I'm saying is, okay. So say Mac Jones comes in and shits the bed this year, throws like 15, 16 to 18 interceptions with only like 20 touchdowns. He shits the bed. He makes bad decisions. Is that on Bill Belichick?
It's going to be. It's a team. Football's a team game.
I know. But
football's a team game. That's
what I'm trying to explain to you. When you sit here and you say that you're giving all the props to Brady because it was Brady more than anything. But I'm saying no. That's why I'm saying it's 50-50. It's equal. You, as a coach, you have to have a good game plan. You have to be able to make adjustments. That's what makes you a good damn coach. But you can't control every aspect on the field because you're not playing. This ain't bad. You don't have a controller. You can't control your guys, what they do. You know what I mean? So in an aspect, like I said, if you set them up to succeed, then, awesome. But if you don't, then yeah, that's when you get called out on your bullshit. And as far as I'm concerned, nothing has shown me that Belichick can't get back to the playoffs. He can. Even in that division, he can. Now, whether it's Mac Jones, he needs to step it up. If he doesn't step it up, then yeah, I don't see that happening. But if Mac Jones steps up, if Belichick can elevate, with Bill O'Brien calling the plays for offense, and Bill Belichick can really coach up the defense and maybe you know what I mean, get it together. I don't see why they can't win 8 to 10 games and at least be on the cusp of making the playoffs.
Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though with the whole Tom Brady thing, I threw that out there, but I'm just saying, as far as if he does go in last, if New England Patriots go in last place this season in the division, if they do, I'm not saying they are. If they do, I don't think his legacy is tarnished. I don't think that. But what I do know is that it's questioning a lot of people about, okay, Tom Brady's not there and you have not won nothing since he left. Understand you're in a rebuild mode, but if I am the New England Patriots right now, you should be offering DeAndre Hopkins a goddamn contract, because you know what? If you look at the weapons that Mac Jones have on the outside, he has nothing. You got a Juju Smith-Schuster, but he has not been the same since he was in Pittsburgh. Yes, he won a championship with the Kansas City Chiefs. They had one good game out of 18 games that he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. You're not expecting Juju Smith-Schuster to be a number one receiver in the NFL, not anymore at that. So for me, DeAndre Hopkins is the answer if Mac Jones wants to be competitive, at least in this division. So they're going to need weapons for Mac Jones, because sometimes you can't go the Tom Brady route anymore. You can't go with underrated receivers anymore. You at least need one guy that can help you out, that can bail you out as a quarterback. And we see many of quarterbacks get bailed out by their receivers multiple times. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes. I don't care if it was Andrew Luck. We've seen all quarterbacks in the history of this game get bailed out because they're receivers or they running backs, but mainly they're receivers. But like I don't think it tarnishes his legacy at all if he loses this, if he loses this division. I don't see how the division playing out for the AFC East. A lot of people saying that this is probably the best division in football right now, the AFC East, because of the quarterbacks. I don't see that yet. I have to see it to believe it, because right now Bills Mafia runs that division in the last 3 to 4 years. So I have to see it. But as far as the question go, no, it does not tarnish his legacy. I don't have nothing against his legacy. I'm just going with the other consensus is saying.
I got a hot take. Bills don't make the playoffs this year.
What?
Allen and the Bills target. They got a target on their back.
They do.
They do. Who do you have in that division winning?
And the whole thing is that who I promise you, whoever wins that division has to win 11 or 12 games to be the clear winner of that division.
So who? So I mean, so who will the team be? Is the question.
I'm telling you, if Tua's healthy to the end of the season,
Yeah. Come
it's
on, man.
Miami, right?
Thank you.
If anything happens to Tua, it's probably the Jets.
They have. I mean, listen.
And I'm telling you right now, and
Can their
this
offensive
is
line protect Tua? That's the question. Can they
I
protect?
mean, but
him?
we've been that's what we've been building on all off season.
I gotta see it to believe it.
We've been getting them right all off season. That's all they've been focused on is straight O line. That's all they've been
Are
focused
we
on.
forgetting about a top in like just like Nasir said? He said the Jets have a defense, but what else? If you look, have y'all not seen the weapons for the New York Jets?
That's what I'm saying. Like I know the Jets. The Jets are gonna win 8 games, guaranteed.
The Jets can definitely win 11 games in that division. They really can.
That's what I'm saying. Like I know they're gonna win 8 or 9 games this season, guaranteed. Even if they have growing pains of the first year, everybody being together. That's my whole thing. But again, what if they don't? What if they don't? You think after all the years of the Bills coming and kicking them in the motherfucking ass, and them fans having to watch them get there? Now they got Aaron Rodgers. Now they got a defense. Now they got offensive weapons. They finally gonna put it all together? Man, listen to me. I would not be surprised to, like I said, to see the Jets and the Dolphins be the battle of that division. And seriously, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Buffalo Bills only winning 8.
I mean, we got to see. I mean, Buffalo did have the number one defense last year for majority of the year. So we just have to see how the division is going to shape out. So I'm not making no definitive. I'm not making no definitive team to win this division just yet. I gotta see it. I gotta see
everybody
it.
trying to focus on Tua because they know our defense is so good this year. Is that what the thing is gonna be?
But I think your defense is not gonna be better than New York's though. I don't think I don't think your defense is gonna be better than New York. New York's had the top 5 defense in the last 3 years. They just a quarterback away, and they got their quarterback. I'm sorry, if you look up the ranking for the Jets defense, they have been in the top 10 the last 3 years with that core. Ever since Robert Slayer has been the head coach in New York, they have been at least damn near outside of the top 10 or in the top 10, at least.
I mean, granted, I give a year to Sauce. What did Sauce have? What was his grade at coverage last year? A 90?
I gotta go.
90 pass coverage grade. Like, I mean, that's tough.
And I don't know if I understand Vic Fangio is a good defensive coordinator, but he ain't better than no Robert Slayer. Let's come on now. He ain't better than no Robert Slayer now. Robert Slayer took defenses to the Super Bowl. And let's be honest, this offense for the Jets was just as good, but you had Zach Wilson, terrible. Mike White had to come in and fill in. And then you had a Sam Darnold, terrible.
But can I say a couple things I feel like we're not realizing? How old is Aaron Rodgers? Like, I just feel like let's face it.
I understand that, but at his age, he's still winning MVPs. No, at his age,
don't take away nothing from him. But he's gonna come. So automatically, they just gonna come into that new system, and they just gonna win it all. I guess. I'm
not saying they're gonna win it all, but what I'm saying is we're not going to sit here and not talk about the Jets like they just didn't bring Randall Cobb that Aaron Rodgers know from Green Bay, that brought in Alan Lazard that Aaron Rodgers know from Green Bay. I mean, I'm just being realistic here. Like I just have to see Tua play a full season.
But Tua,
for me to believe
Tua
in the
go
Dolphins.
down last year, and what happens? Because I just feel like, he got hurt. That's a part of football. I just feel like I get it. Don't get me wrong.
It's bigger than football with him at this point because they didn't put up game signs and concussion protocol.
Okay, but then we have the same guy.
It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that.
We got the same backup guy who just came and just held the Jets down for the rest of the year.
I understand that, but if you notice, if Aaron Rodgers was there last year with the wide receivers that they got, with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall that didn't get hurt,
bro,
it would have been a different story if they had a good quarterback.
If Aaron Rodgers was there, Elijah Moore wouldn't have left. He wouldn't have left.
Exactly. It just but that's when they went out and got Alan Lazard to replace Elijah Moore. That's what they did. And Alan Lazard is really smart and knows how to play with Aaron Rodgers. He know what Aaron Rodgers can do, and Rodgers know what Lazard can do. Same for Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb know exactly what Aaron Rodgers can do. Now, if they could protect Aaron Rodgers, we have a team with the New York Jets. If they can't protect them, it's going to be a rough year. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of uncertainty in this division because we understand the Bills been on top the last 4 years.
Win nothing without an amazing,
and that's my problem with Tua. Who is your backup that y'all can really believe in if Tua goes down, God forbid?
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, first we bring in Mike White. And then I just feel like everybody is so focused on us throwing the ball this year. Nobody is paying attention to, and that's why it's even nobody still know who Devon A-Chain is. So I had been off the chat for a little bit. So if you don't know, you haven't been tuned into who Devon A-Chain is. Possibly Devon A-Chain, my bad. Possibly a rookie of the year candidate. I think he ran like a 4.2 or something like that. He basically came and skipped over 3 spots. Like it wasn't even possible that they was even gonna get Delvin Cook. But now they're saying he's so good that they might keep him and keep Raheem, and they might trade off Jeff. I think it is Jeff Wilson Jr. The games without half. So I just feel like people are not even. We just been straight focused on offensive line this whole offseason. We picked up Isaiah Wynn, 2 depth down. Isaiah's old, but he hasn't played too bad. Who else did we pick up? But it was 2 linemen we definitely signed. It was him and another guy from the Seahawks. And we thinking about getting a trade right now for our offensive lineman. We just been talking straight offensive line this whole season because I'm already thinking okay, boom. For us to kind of take the labor off Tua, we're going to run the ball a lot. Teams already going to expect us to straight go to Waddle or straight go to Chosen. But we got this down this year.
What I'm saying in this, even though that y'all do have a good defense, y'all still have Christian Wilkins that's going to be holding out this year because of a contract. That's a big piece for your defensive line. Like, no, they said there's a possibility that he might hold out. And I did a show a couple of days ago doing all the NFL holdouts, and Christian Wilkinson was one of those guys that was on that list. So y'all have some bigger problems. I'm not saying that the Miami Dolphins is going to be trash. I'm not saying that.
Wilkins is going to get paid, man. He had too good of a season last season. They're going to pay that man. Even with that offense,
I hope so. I hope so.
That system, they wouldn't even be banking. They wouldn't even be banking on that system working with Vic if Christian wasn't staying. I don't even think that's not good. Even with them bringing Jalen Phillips down now, it's definitely going to be something this year.
All right, so we got some quick takes here. We got some quick takes here. We're going to go into some quick takes real quick. And I'm going to say, how did I get here? I am here.
Oh, no, you talking to kids. Like,
no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But for me, let's go into some quick takes here. I just want to get your quick thoughts on Michael Jordan finalizing the Hornets sale at the 13 seasons. He's a minority of the state. Let me go to the actual thing according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Let me just go to it real quick.
Because wasn't there something like they still had to finalize it or something before he all the way? It's still something that has to go through before.
Yeah, so Michael Jordan is finalizing the sale with the Charlotte Hornets to a group led by Gabe Polokin and Rick Chanel in his 13-year run as the majority owner, according to league sources. It says that Jordan is selling the majority of his stake in the Charlotte Hornets to Gabe and Rich, a group approximately a $3 billion valuation, according to league sources of ESPN. He's keeping minority of the stake, so he has a little bit of partial of the ownership. But what are your thoughts on him at the 13 seasons, giving up majority of the estate?
First of all, me personally being from Charlotte, of course, I'm like, it's about time. This is the worst. Is he not the worst person? Jordan has to be the worst ever to have a team. Like, who was worse than Jordan, I think? Like, they won 10. I think you can look this up. You can fact check me on this right now. They have won 10 out of 13 seasons. He had the 13 seasons. They have had 10 losing seasons. 10 losing seasons out of 13 since Jordan has been the owner of Charlotte. So like
They said the Hornets are so boring. They are literally have is LaMelo Ball. I mean, that might change now. Let's see what this owner could do and bringing up actual basketball
because
GM that knows the game of basketball that's updated with it and see what they could do in this draft.
yeah, man, Jordan is just he just had the team, man. I think for other purposes, but not really for. He didn't care about them winning any games or making no runs for nothing. Jordan was just looking for them, looking at the money aspect. I feel like personally,
All right,
like
so the Golden State Warriors promotes Mike Dunleavy Jr., his father, his son. The Warriors promote his son as the new GM of the Golden State Warriors. What does this state for Golden State Warriors? Because I have some questions about it, and I talked about it yesterday about the whole Klay Thompson thing. From what I'm hearing, they're not trying to give him the max contract because they're trying to keep Draymond Green. And I felt, and then people agree. People disagree with me about Bradley Beal going to the Golden State Warriors. I'm saying, listen, I'm telling you,
Bradley Beal to Golden State.
And I'm gonna tell you, I said this because if you could keep Draymond Green, and I understand Klay's defense was really good, but he has not been the same since he's been injured. And you're going to ask Klay Thompson to take a pay cut in Golden State after all he did. Klay Thompson's going to walk. He's going to walk. You had Bradley Beal and Steph Curry in that continuity with that offense, bro.
Let's see.
You could trade Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole for Bradley Beal right now. You really can, and give them some assets as far as like draft picks.
Draymond got a $27.6 million option, so I mean they're not. They're not.
That's only if they keep Draymond Green. I mean, if he stays for one more year, that means that's the final year of his contract.
And then Klay is on his last year. This will be his last year
coming into his last year of his contract. So you got to make some moves.
Yeah,
and Bradley Beal is he could be in a good spot with Golden State. It's a possibility, but can Mike Dunleavy pull it off? That's the question.
I like Dunleavy.
Can he pull it off?
Dunleavy, he. I mean, I don't want to say he's not that old. Like you know what I'm saying, he's not a super old guy. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's gonna get them what they need to get the ball back rolling because everybody basically know they basically on a restart and a rebuild. They starting up a rebuild, so. That's probably exactly what they need. He young, energetic guy, get in there. I like Dunleavy. That was all right for them.
So Nasir says GSW is definitely disbanded some parts. I can't wait to see how it shake up. I can't wait for this offense to look how it shake up too, because now, even next year, Steve Kerr becomes they didn't sign him to an extension yet, so he's on the final year of his contract as a coach. RC Cover says Mike Dunleavy Jr. could be good or bad. It's a very intriguing hire. I respect his game from Duke all the way through his veteran years. Let him work.
I'm a Dookie, so that's why I said I think that was just a good move for them all around.
And speak of shopping. I'm shopping Klay just to see what I may possibly receive. I think you have to at least explore. You have to. If they ask him to take a pay cut in Golden State, I'm telling you, might have to explore him because Klay might not want to stay in Golden State if he's not getting the max.
Yeah, but I think Klay is already expecting not to get the max though. I think, and somebody called me. I'm gonna step out there on this one. Somebody takes a cut. I'm not gonna say who, just to try to keep the team together. Try to keep them together. Just say somebody takes a step and says, "I'm gonna be the one to take less money, so we can try to keep us together."
And speaking of the East, Nasir, that you picked, that you said anything about it. Speaking of the New York Knicks, I don't know if y'all saw this on First Take, but should the Knicks be interested in Zion Williamson? And the only reason why I say this because it was an interview that Zion Williamson did saying that he loves playing for the Pelicans, but if he has a chance to play for New York, he would love to play for New York. Now, I'm going to say this, bro. I'm going to say this. The New York Knicks do not make this trade. Do not try to make this trade. The best ability is availability.
Okay, I was
Zion
just about to say,
has not been available. Say what?
Zion only played 29 games last season, but he did average 26 and 7 and 4 in those games. But he played 29 games, but he averages 28 games a season. Right. 28.5 games a season. Like,
Do you want to give up a RJ Barrett? Do you want to give up a Obi Toppin? Do you want to even give up a few other players that Jalen Brunson, that play
I,
well with to get a Zion that only can play 30
but I
games a
honestly
season?
think that I honestly think too, in a way, I think that they're trying. I think they're moving on from Julius Randle. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think
I think they're
but I don't
moving
think
on
they're
from.
gonna send Julius Randle back to New Orleans though. I don't
Yeah,
see that.
but I know that the Pelicans are definitely trying to get Scoot. So I think they're looking at if they can move Zion out, they can get Scoot in there
Yeah,
because
but
they're
that
gonna.
means you're gonna have to move up to like the second overall pick. So that means you're gonna
Yeah,
have to work out a deal. And once the Knicks don't have that, the Knicks don't have that high lottery pick. So if you do want to trade Zion, it's gonna have to be a 3-team trade.
yeah,
It's gonna have to be a 3-team trade because the Knicks doesn't have a lottery pick. So to move up to get Scoot, whoever has that number 2 overall pick, they're gonna have to trade out of that number 2 overall pick. Because Scoot's going number 2. We all know that Victor's going number 1. He's going to San
yeah.
Antonio
Vic
Spurs. We
Vic
already
going
know
one.
that.
Yeah,
So we already know that. So when it comes to that situation, I don't see the Knicks going after Zion Williamson. Only way they do that, it got to be in a 3-team trade for the Pelicans to move up to number 2. And I don't know. I forgot who has that second overall pick for the NBA
Pelicans
draft.
should test Zion market, but I believe he's not going to have the career. He's not. He's not, and he's not going to have the career. I mean, it's kind of not even projected anymore because he's already been in the league long enough and hasn't played. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like whatever he does at this point is just like, okay, good, you did something, but he kind of already didn't come in to me and like I said, I done seen him play in high school and stuff and college and all that good stuff. It just he I don't know, bro. He's just I don't know how to even. Brandon Miller going to Charlotte and Portland should trade Dame so they can rebuild around Scoot. I think Brandon
Is that
Miller's going to Houston.
possible?
I think Houston's going to try to. I think the Rockets are going to try to get Brandon. Personally, I think they're going to try to get Harden and they're going to try to pick up Brandon.
Because I know we definitely got to do a topic of our mock drafts of the NBA because the NBA draft is literally around the corner. So we got to do our
Yes,
mock drafts.
sir.
I've been looking at
Start working on that.
I've been doing my research on a lot of these players. I didn't even know Scoop was in the movie Shooting Stars. I didn't even know that was him.
Yo, yeah.
I didn't even know that was Scoop that played in Shooting Stars. I'm like, yo, His face looked familiar because I watched Shooting Stars twice. Actually, it's a good movie on Peacock. Definitely go check that out. Shooting Stars is definitely a great movie. It's definitely a good movie about that squad. But I didn't even know Scoop played in it, and then I seen highlights and I'm like, yo, that face looked familiar. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's Scoot Henderson. But at the end of the day, Zion New Zealand might be very poor man's Larry Johnson. I mean, all I'm gonna say is this is to Zion Williamson.
And that's tough to call him.
Who had a lot of
He can't
energy.
shoot, bro.
He had a lot of energy to get a porn star pregnant. I need that energy to be on the basketball court. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But I did have some other topics, but I'm gonna leave those for Monday. A lot of people's gonna. I wanted to talk about the whole Derek Carr article because these Raiders fans got on my goddamn nerves about it. They got on my nerves about it. So if you, it was an article that came out right about Derek Carr saying that he didn't give his best in the 2022 NFL season with the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm trying to figure out what was actually said. But the Raiders Twitter is one of the worst Twitters. Don't ever go on Twitter and be a part of the Raider Nation. Just don't do it because I think it's just really is really stupid. So NFL.com says that the Saints quarterback Derek Carr doesn't think he gives the Raiders his best in the final season, and that drove him crazy, quote unquote. So it's saying that the 9-year run with the Raiders came to, uncertainty in 2022 when he was benched for the team's final 2 games and then released in February. Now suiting him as a QB1 for the New Orleans Saints, the 4-time Pro Bowler, who once claimed that he wouldn't play nowhere else, but the silver and black feels he failed to do that all he could do in Las Vegas. So, quote unquote, and this is what Derek Carr had to say. He said, they just didn't get my best, and that drove me crazy at the end of the year because I felt spread out in so many different ways, Carr said this week on the Associated Press article. And it says that I just didn't feel like myself, and I feel bad for the Raiders, coaches, and their players. Now, while Carr did play poorly in 2022, we're not going to agree to disagree on that. He did play poorly in 2022. He was far from the only culprit the Raiders' inability to live up to expectations following the hire of Coach Josh McDaniels. Now, and traded for All-Pro wide receiver Devontae Adams. Now, the Las Vegas Raiders defense was among the worst in the league, ranked 26 in scoring, 28 in yards allowed. Remember, I said that 28 in points allowed, 28 in yards allowed, and 26 in scoring points. And it says that they had consistently choked away leads, and that's a trend that started in week 2 loss against the Cardinals, where they gave up 22 unanswered points in the fourth quarter after a 23-7 lead by the club. Now, Carr does bear some responsibility, though, but he completed 60.8% of his passes, and down from a 68.7 over the previous 4 years in his worst output since his rookie year. He also tied a career high with interceptions with 14. Now, he said, and he said in another quote that I tried my best to get back to that, Carr said. Hopefully it leads to some success. It's going to be a great season for me to learn and help some of these guys down the road and when they go through a coaching change or a shift or whatever they're doing. So the transitions made by New Orleans is a stout defense. The unit has ranked it says the unit has ranked no worse than 9th in points or yards allowed in 3 years running. So for me, if you look at Derek, what's going on, Key? What's going on, Kalani? What's going on, Love? What's going on? But if you look at New Orleans Saints offense with Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, Chris Olave, Foster Moreau,
you
bring back Michael Thomas, and they said that this team has not even been. They said this defense has not been outside of the top 10. I want Raiders fans to understand this, right? I want Raiders fans to understand this because I didn't see you, Mac. My bad. I want Raiders fans to understand. I don't know if you was hearing what I was saying, but I need them to understand this, right? Derek Carr did play poorly in 2022. Yes, they said, oh, they gave us 9 years of losing. Understanding that, y'all still. We have, and I said this. I said you Book was supposed to remind me of this. The Raiders ranked 26 in scoring defense, and 28th in yards allowed. So is that Derek Carr's fault that we had a poor season? No. If your defense can't get off the goddamn field, that's one thing. And then to turn around to go to a New Orleans team that never cracked outside of the top 10 in the New Orleans Saints defense. So for me, if he said that he feels though that he didn't have, he didn't give his best to the Raiders, that really goes on the coaching. To be honest, it really goes on the coaching. If he didn't give if he feel like he didn't give his best, Josh McDaniels is not a motivating type of coach. He's just not. He's not a motivating type of coach. He just goes. Josh McDaniels go with the flow of things, So for him to say that, I think he was just getting it off his chest of all the bullshit that went on in the Raiders organization last year, and I didn't think he tried to make it a big thing out of it. But Raider Nation Twitter, y'all wanted him gone, right? Y'all wanted him out of Las Vegas. Leave it alone. Move on. Y'all wanted him gone, and we got a injury-prone quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. Hopefully he can stay healthy for the whole season. But leave it alone. Let it go. Don't say, oh, thank you for the 9 years of losing. But thank Paul Gunther, thank John Gruden, thank Mike Mayock, thank so many coaches that came through. And another thing, the Raiders have not won shit since 2002. So even way before Carr got there, we still was looking like shit. So thank you to the Raider Nation Twitter. Y'all weird. Y'all just really weird. I just wanted to throw that out there. And I just asked Bug the same thing that you just asked, Mac. How you feel about Mike Dunleavy Jr. being the new GM for the Golden State Warriors? How you feel about that?
I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him, and we'll see. We'll see. It's kind of like I'm happy they let him take that role over, and let's see if he can flourish and continue.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, on a lot of GM jobs, it's like you have your first take on it, and it's like okay. Then it's like you either like, ah man, fuck that guy, or okay, let's see. I mean, the logical standpoint is like you really nobody knows until you try.
Right.
Like
I think it's a good hire though.
yeah, I mean absolutely. But the whole thing is like as long as you have a true eye for talent and you can you check off certain boxes and you do shit the right way, you build the right way, you don't overpay, you know what I mean? You like there's smart decisions and there's dumb ones. As long as he continues to make smart decisions, which his history has led me to believe that. I don't feel like anything could go completely wrong with him being the GM.
And how you feel about the whole situation about Michael Jordan, finally giving up majority of his estate to I forgot it was two guys. It was for $3 billion, but he's keeping minority. He's keeping some of it, but the majority he's selling at the
Yeah, I
13
mean,
seasons.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty sure by now he's kind of tired dealing with any type of day-to-day email chain, text message chain, updates. Like he wants to step back in his role, and I get that. Now, does he need to, as far as acids and he needs money? No, he doesn't. We all know that.
Right.
So the only reason for him to do that is literally him stepping back in the basketball role. He doesn't want to necessarily have so much input on the organization. He wants to really enjoy himself. That's the only reason I could see him doing this. I mean, the paycheck is the check's definitely going to be nice,
Yeah.
but at the same time, again, this is a guy who makes at least that much probably regularly from the shoes,
Right.
so yeah, it's a big thing for the people who really think Michael Jordan's really got an input in our organization. No, no. He
And
might show up. He might talk to the guys. He might, hey Jordan, who do you think we should draft this year? I like this guy. You know what I mean? In that sense. But is again, he's not going to be in that email chain. He's not going to be in the text chain. He's not like all that is just going to be a headache he no longer has to, take care of.
so in the other one we just talked about before, Bud Cam down. He's how you feel about the whole thing about they talking about Zion Williamson? I mean, the Knicks should be interested in Zion Williamson. I say no. Like I said, best ability is availability. You think the Pelicans should not trade him, but I'm just asking the question here. I'm just the narrator here.
It'd be like bringing in another Randall. I'm just saying, like, come on, man. Look, I'd understand a team that's picking him up that's not paying a max contract. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand that, but if a team's going to pay a max contract for a guy, that he should be at least worth that max contract. That's all I'm saying, and that's why it's like him going into the Knicks. That would definitely be a Knicks move. It would definitely be a Knicks type of move.
Absolutely. It'll be a Knicks kind of move. But I mean, if the Pelicans want to move up to go get Scoot and they want to put this Knicks team involved with that, then that means it has to be a 3-team trade. And that's what I was telling Book, that it has to be a 3-team trade if that happens. But I just don't think they're going to stick with Zion. And like you said, you want them to wait till November and go from there. So basically that's what's going to happen. We want to see till November, see what he can do there and go from there.
All right. Well, that's my last take for the day. I gotta get running.
I just want to, this is going to be the last thing too. I
We
just
was
want to give
wrapping up anyway,
prayers
bro.
out to Deion Sanders. I don't know if y'all heard about his situation. He might be looking to lose his foot due to medical complications. Because he lost the toe already, so he might lose his foot. So prayers go out to him, and prayers go out
Ray
to
Lewis' son,
Ray Lewis as
family.
well. The Lewis family as well. I didn't get a chance to do it because we was talking about the whole John Morant thing in the first topic, but prayers go out to the Lewis family of Ray Lewis, losing his son and stuff of that nature. So prayers go out to Ray Lewis, and his son passed away at the age of 28. So prayers go out to both of them as well. But that's it for today, y'all. Friday's in the books. What a good episode. So you see what happens when y'all on here more. You get a different tension here.
I got
my goddamn self.
I got you, man. I got you. I owe the show a lot, but I still been working. But we here now, man. Tomorrow, Nasir he might be gone now, but he was on some Dolphin stuff. We're gonna talk more of that tomorrow. I get going my rant about my Dolphins tomorrow, man.
You have a great day, bro. I'm usually working during the stream, but I'm gonna try to be commenting more. Hey, engagement is the best part of the show.
Appreciate it, bro.
We're not gonna. The show is actually gonna be back on Monday. We don't do it.
Oh
on
yeah,
the
my bad. Not tomorrow, Monday.
Because today's Friday the 16th, so we'll be back Monday. But I will be live on the YouTube channel. I will be doing AEW Collision. I'll be doing a live reactions of AEW Collision. Probably some WNBA games, probably some MLB games this weekend. So I'll be on the YouTube. I won't be on the Facebook side of things, but I will be on YouTube. But make sure y'all check us out on the social medias at DhopkinsShow, which is on Facebook, that's on Twitter, and that's on Instagram. Make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Darion Hopkins Show, and we'll see y'all in another show another time. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all the audio podcasts are there at the Darion Hopkins Show. We out of here, y'all, and I will see y'all Monday for episode 43. We on 43 episodes.
Hey, getting up there,
43
man.
episodes of this thing, man.
Man.
I'll see y'all in a lot of play-by-play reactions over the weekend. We out of here, y'all. Peace, love, and blessings, and have a great weekend, y'all. We out of here.